This is Fletcher Pond, also known as Fletcher's Floodwaters, a 10,000-acre flooding southwest of Alpena that's known for its bass and northern pike fishing. Now, we christened our new boat on this pond. Thought we'd give it a shakedown cruise and try out Fletcher's, at least for panfish. Greg Cash, whose kicker band sings the theme song of the show, fishes here a lot in the winter. He says the crappie and bluegill fishing is phenomenal. Now, the average depth at Fletcher's is 5 to 8 feet in most areas, and when I cranked up the motor from the launch site, I really wasn't aware of the hazards in a flooding like this. Back in 1930, when the Thunder Bay River was dammed by the Alpena Power Company, the tops of trees were standing above the water line, and in 1932, loggers went out on the ice in the winter and cut the trees off at water level. That left dead heads like this one just under the surface, all over the flooding. I saw right away that full speed was out of the question, so I trimmed the motor up just to keep it out of trouble. On any flooding that's likely to have tree trunks just under the surface, you want to tip your motor up and run slowly all the time. Hitting a stump could shear a pin and possibly even damage the stern of the boat. To find out what's down there, I use a flasher. It's telling me we're in about 8 feet of water, and I do see a few small fish.
There we go, I got one. Got a fish on. A little head shaker of some type. Not a big one. Oh, not a bad one. Look at that. Oh, you got one too. Darren's got one over there.
Darren Stewart from Lansing fishes quite a bit with Greg Cash, and we both caught crappie at the same time. Now, crappie like to hang around sunken treetops and branches, which is why Fletcher's is such a good crappie hole.
Well, they got a lot of fins, big fins in the back, made for swimming. They chase minnows, scarfoot minnows in their big mouths. Yeah, it's on the small side though, in the back.
Because of the underwater hazards, most fishermen on Fletcher's use small boats. You can see the minnow bucket floating off the stern. They're after crappies. And from what I could tell, there's no shortage of crappies and panfish in this pond.
Well, let's see what it is. It's a rock bass. Rock bass. Whoa! Little rock bass here. Yeah, they look somewhat like a crappie. They have that dorsal fin that's connected right to the rear dorsal, the spiny dorsal and the soft dorsal. And same thing on the bottom, they got spines right along there. And a red eye. It's characteristic of a rock bass, that red eye. Fairly good sized mouth for eating minnows. And a lot of people don't care for them. They're small, and they're not that tasty. Small. So back he goes.
We fished the last 2 hours before sunset, saw a guy catch a 5-pound bass, but didn't catch any big ones ourselves. The next morning it was beautiful on the pond. We tried night crawlers on small hooks, but found the action was fairly constant using plastic grubs on small jigs or spinners, at least with small fish.
Oh, crappie's a scrapper. Now he hit right at the boat. I might be able to get another one right here off to the side. Let me see if I can just cast out right over here. Get one to hit. The trick with these little teeny spinner baits is really real slow, just enough to get that blade turning.
For an all-around lure that panfish will hit, as well as bass and even pike from time to time, these little spinner baits are ideal.
There we go. Time and time again. Well, I'm the king of the rock bass. I swear it's the same one I've caught 30 times.
We take him off your pole.
Yeah, he hasn't grown a bit.
The flasher showed 6 feet of water. That could be tree limbs or maybe weeds or maybe small fish right off the bottom. Those little fish seem to be everywhere. This 10,000-acre impoundment is not only the home of many, many fish, but 3 pairs of bald eagles and 21 pairs of osprey nest on this flooding. Their main food, of course, is fish. Well, we didn't catch any big ones, but the action was steady during the few hours we spent here. I'm sure we'll be back with Greg Cash and Darren Stewart sometime again.
There you go.
We'll fish the other side of the pond where the bigger bass and pike are taken. One of these days we'll get 'em.